I call this meeting to order. Please stand for the flag salute and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. May we have roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Circo?
Present.
Commissioner Sotile?
Present.
And Commissioner Valles?
Present.
Okay. And Commissioner Moros and Pollock-Rude are not present.
Thank you. Welcome to the Elkhorn Planning Commission meeting. This meeting is being live streamed on the City of Elkhorn website. Appeals of final decisions of the Planning Commission made this evening must be filed in writing with the City Clerk before 5 p.m. Monday, November 14th, 2022, and must include the payment of a filing fee. If you wish to speak on either a non-agenda or agenda item tonight, please fill out a request to speak card located by the agenda and turn it into the secretary, who will call you up to speak when the agenda item comes up for public comment. We ask that you give us your name, spelling your last name. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. The display on the podium, as well as other monitors in the chambers, will show time counting down. At 30 seconds, the podium clock readout will turn red, signifying you have 30 seconds until the end of your time. Applicants and individuals representing groups of people may be allowed more time if appropriate. All public hearing comments should be addressed to me as the chair of the commission and not to individual commissioners or to staff members. Please turn off all electronic devices if you have not already done so. Pursuant to City Council Resolution number 114-79, a commissioner who has received evidence related to a matter before the Planning Commission, other than an unescorted view of the subject property, is required to disclose such information at the hearing. At this time, we'll take comments from any member of the public on any item of business within the jurisdiction of the Commission that is not on the agenda. Under state law, no action can be taken on items brought forward under public comment, except to refer it to staff for administration or place it on a future agenda. If there is anyone who wishes to address the Commission under public comment, please come forward. Were any public comments submitted prior to the meeting?
There were none through the email.
Thank you. All right. We will move on to the consent calendar. A single motion will cover all items on the consent calendar. Does the Commission wish to pull a consent calendar item for discussion?
Nope.
Does the staff wish to pull a consent calendar item for discussion?
No changes from staff, but we do have an announcement from the City Attorney's Office.
Okay.
Yes, just a reminder to the public and the Commission that since 3 members is a quorum, anything that passes tonight has to pass unanimously. And the applicants reminded that they can wait until there is a full commission if they wish to for the item to be considered.
All right. Then we will move on to, first of all, we need a motion for the consent calendar.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent calendar as written.
I second it.
All right. Consent calendar motion made by Commissioner Valles, seconded by Commissioner Sotile. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of members present.
All right. Now we will move on to agenda item number 2. This is the Hyundai Auto Dealership. It's CEQA exempt, and the staff recommendation is to recommend City Council approval. Staff.
Thank you. Good evening, Honorable Commissioners. My name is Mike Villione, Senior Planner with the Community Development Department. The item before you this evening is a request for an amendment to existing specific plan number 452. The aforementioned specific plan governs the project site 1155 Graves Avenue, which is at the corner of Graves Avenue and Hart Drive at the city limits. Specific plan number 452 consolidates the 7 separate assessor parcel numbers, which make up the site into a single 4.6 acre unit. It also provides an increased height limit and restricts use of the site to a recreational facility without further environmental analysis. Family Fun Center and Boomers previously operated at the site pursuant to this specific plan. The site is within the 100-year floodplain and Safety Zone 6 of the Gillespie Field Airport Land Use Compatibility Plan. Multifamily apartments are to the north of the project in the county of San Diego across Hart Drive. A single-family residence is to the east, and commercial uses, including Target, are to the south. The property is designated regional commercial by both the general plan and zoning ordinance. The general plan regional commercial designation is intended for large shopping centers and other major uses important for sales tax generation. Similarly, the zoning ordinance elaborates that the regional commercial zone is intended for community and regional scale commercial that serve large areas of the city and surrounding community. The regional commercial zone would permit a car dealership with a conditional use permit, but the applicant proposes instead to amend the existing specific plan to authorize the auto dealership and construct across lot lines consistent with zoning code requirements. The specific plan amendment site plan is shown here. The project proposes a nearly 37,000 square foot dealership building, which includes sales, service, and parts storage, as well as a 1,232 square foot car wash building to its east. A new 30-foot wide commercial driveway is proposed near the intersection of Graves Avenue and Hart Drive and will function as a nighttime drop-off location for the next day's service as well. The project proposes to preserve the southerly site access, the off-street parking, and landscape areas at the south and east ends of the site, as well as the existing boundary wall. Existing chain-link fencing atop the northerly boundary wall is proposed to be improved with slats to improve privacy for the residences across Hart Drive. Landscaping will be required to screen the single-family property to the east. Signage is also shown on the site plan. However, the proposed specific plan includes a provision permitting signage in accordance with the sign ordinance. 2 freestanding signs may be permitted under the sign ordinance. However, any sign exceeding 15 feet in height will need to demonstrate that it will not cast shadows on adjacent properties. Lastly, as a part of the proposed project, Graves Avenue will be improved to ensure that the roadway operates safely for all users with the additional project trips. Improvements include extensions to both the existing bicycle lane and the 2-way left turn lane to the intersection of Graves Avenue and Hart Drive. These improvements are shown in the traffic study. This is the proposed dealership building as it would appear from Graves Avenue. The structure is 28 feet tall at its highest point and is contemporary in design. As you can see, the building includes extensive glazing as well as the Hyundai patterned bronze metal paneling across the parapets. Service and express lube bays aligned with the northerly access project from the building to break up the rectangular mass. The side and rear elevations are shown here. The glazing and parapet visible from the front elevation extends approximately a quarter of the length of the building, which is otherwise finished with stucco. Repeated horizontal aluminum reveals and a contrasting band of stucco are intended to continue the design theme across all elevations. All rooftop mechanical will be screened from public view. Conditions of approval will also require the on-site structures to comply with the flood damage prevention regulations, and a determination from the Federal Aviation Administration that on-site structures do not pose a hazard to air navigation will also be required. It is important to note that the proposed specific plan amendment also includes a number of performance standards to ensure compatibility with adjacent properties. These good neighbor policies restrict all commercial activities to private property, including all parking necessary for the auto dealership. Car wash hours will be limited to the hours between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., and the use of a public address system will be prohibited. All site lighting will be required to be shielded and directed downward, and test drives would be restricted to commercial streets like Graves Avenue as opposed to Hart Drive. In order to recommend City Council approval, the Planning Commission needs to find that the proposed specific plan amendment serves the public interest and that it will implement the city's general plan. Draft findings are included that determine the specific plan amendment serves the public interest by redeveloping the site with a quality, community-scale commercial use consistent with adjacent regional commercial uses, and that the general plan is implemented because the amendment facilitates a strong, competitive regional commercial base. The proposed project is exempt from the environmental review requirements of the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to the CEQA Guidelines Section 15332, Class 32 exemption for infill development projects. Staff therefore recommend that Planning Commission recommend City Council approval of the CEQA determination and specific plan amendment. This concludes staff's report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for staff on this project? I did wonder what Hyundai brand bronze panels looked like, and when I was looking at the agenda online, I couldn't quite see that. So now I know. All right. If there are no questions for staff, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Do we have any speaker cards tonight?
Yes, we do. The first speaker is Chris George.
And really, the only reason I filled that out was to answer any questions. So I don't have anything. Michael covered it thoroughly, I think. So I thank you.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Chris, you are?
I'm sorry. I partner and operator of Hyundai of El Cajon.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. I had a couple people tell me, "Oh, is that where the Kia dealership is going?" I was like, "No, I'm pretty sure it's Hyundai."
Kia wished we were. They're quite angry at us, actually.
Okay.
But no, that's where the Hyundai store goes. So yeah, I just filled that out to see if you had any questions or I could answer anything.
Any questions for the applicants?
No, none.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Any other speaker cards?
Yes, we do. Brian McDermott.
My name is Brian McDermott. I'm with Wagner Architecture. Again, I just filled out a card in case you guys had any questions on the design or the site layout. I'm here to answer anything you have.
Any questions for Brian?
I looked it over and it looks very well done. The layout and the circulation of the vehicles and parking on site. I mean, it's a good project. Very good. I like it.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
I don't think I've ever driven to the end of the existing parking lot. I went to Boomers many times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see that some of that's being preserved and just reused.
Yeah, that was important to the owner too, to try and, reduce the amount of impact that we had for
Yeah.
the new building. So I think we did that quite well.
And I saw notes on landscaping being used to block the parking lot to the residential, single-family residential side. What kind of landscaping are we looking at? I saw a few trees in there.
Off the top of my head, I apologize for that, but we're certainly going to be in keeping with the requirements of the city. So we'll update that.
Okay.
Commissioner Circo, I would just add that the landscape plan would be due with construction documents, and then appropriate materials would be selected at that time.
I was wondering, because normally there's a landscape plan, but I guess normally we're looking further down the road.
There was a draft landscape plan included, but staff felt it appropriate to include a condition requiring the existing landscaping there to be refurbished with some screening elements.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions?
Okay,
Thank you.
very much.
Any further speaker cards?
We do. We have one more. Joyce Peterson.
Welcome.
Joyce Peterson, Peterson. My brother and I own 340 Hart Drive, Cabo Verde Apartments. I also have two houses on Hart Drive that I own, and also 419 Greenfield across the street. And we're very excited. All my tenants are very excited about this. I think we missed the family fun center, but what can you do about that? But this is a great use for this property, and we would urge you to accept it. I had a question on the brick wall that's on Hart.
Okay.
The wall, is that going to stay, or are they going to demo that?
Staff, I believe I read that the brick wall is staying, but it's being supplemented by chain link with slats.
That's correct. The wall is proposed to remain, and there's actually an existing chain link fence atop the wall now, and essentially that would be upgraded with a similar chain link fence with screening slats to provide additional privacy.
And also Hart Drive, as you know, it's the parking is just terrible. I mean, it's full. I don't know, when I first built the original Cabo Verde apartments in 1991, there was always plenty of parking, but I guess because of car dealerships and good deals, more people have more cars. And so I would hope that as far as their employees, that they should not park on Hart Drive. You know, they should have enough parking for the employees and the customers and people that are coming to drop off people that are having their cars serviced.
I believe when I was reading the notes, it mentioned the number of parking spots required, and if I recall correctly, the number of parking spots that are being supplied is well above that number.
So the specific plan proposes a parking rate consistent with what you would require for like a general retail sales use. I believe they're initially proposing 136 stalls. The specific plan includes language that would essentially require that the car dealership provides sufficient parking and space for all on-site uses, and actually specifically restricts parking on Hart Drive, such that if their operational conditions demanded it, they would have to adjust the amount of parking proposed, the inventory and storage on site to accommodate the needs of their use.
And if the neighbors on Hart Drive ever felt that there was overflow, they could contact the city and get that straightened out.
That's correct.
Okay.
And you said something about a new driveway on Hart Drive, or what was?
Not on Hart Drive, but towards Hart Drive, still on Graves.
Okay.
Because the Boomers property only has the south side with the driveway.
Right.
They're going to make a full loop, so it'll come back out on
Good.
Graves.
Graves is kind of a dangerous street. People go pretty fast there, so.
Part of the property, part of the proposal is to add the center turn lane or extend the center turn lane. Right now, I think that center turn lane ends at the Target driveway, and they're going to take it up past, up to the corner of Hart and Graves, right?
Good.
That's correct. They will also be extending the existing bicycle lane up to the same intersection.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any further speaker cards?
No, that was it.
If anyone else wishes to speak, you can come forward and speak and fill out a speaker card later. We're not going to force anybody to speak. All right. I move to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Serco, second by Commissioner Valles. Please vote. All right. So any further discussion or questions?
No, just looking at the design, I mean, that'll be a, beautiful location, and, looks like that'll be a nice design, especially as people are coming on the freeway. That'll, the car dealerships have really given some nice business and some nice architecture to El Cajon. So, the Family Fun, or Boomers, was a fun place, but it was kind of older, and it just sat there unused for so long.
I went there as many times as it was open during COVID, and they still had to close it.
Yeah.
I remember the last time I went, I took a picture next to one of the Family Fun Center trash cans because they never took the cement trash cans out or rebranded them. I told my kids, this is what I went to growing up. Yeah, but infill project, I know when Boomers or Family Fun Center, I forget who sold it. I remember hearing that an auto dealership would go in. I was like, I love our auto dealerships. I wish that somebody could have done amusement park, but this is a very nice design. It's very good business for the city, more jobs, and keeps with the auto dealership area there. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. It's quite an improvement. I think it's a good place to have an auto dealership, and it'll enhance the neighborhood and also the city of El Cajon as well. Thank you for doing business in El Cajon.
I just wish you could have kept the train and just run it across the top of the auto dealership. All right. Well, I'd like to make a motion To adopt the next resolutions in order, recommending City Council approval of the CEQA determination and specific plan 2022-0001, an amendment to specific plan number 452, subject to conditions.
I'll second that motion.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Circo, second by Commissioner Valles. Please vote. All right,
And motion carries by unanimous vote.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
This is going to the City Council on December 13th, 2022. And anyone who wishes to appeal this must appeal with the filing form and filing fee no later than 5 p.m. Monday, November 14th in the City Clerk's office.
Congratulations.
All right. And that was the last item on our agenda. Are there any other items for consideration?
No additional items for consideration, but I do have one staff communication.
All right.
So I'm pleased to announce over the past year, city staff have been working with State Department of Housing and Community Development on the city's general plan housing element.
Mm-hmm.
And this past week, on October 27th of 2022, we did receive confirmation that our housing element is in conformance with state law. So I just wanted the commission to know that that has been completed.
Sweet. Thank you.
I was wondering, in the Magnolia and Main corner, what is it, the southeast corner, what's going to go there? It's still empty, and there's just fencing around the property with no building. Is something going to be happening soon to that location?
Yes, there was a mixed-use project that was approved at the corner a few years back. It has building permits have been issued, and they've commenced construction. So they're doing some initial work on footings and grading at the property, but it should be moving forward with construction is staff's understanding, and I can share the building elevations with the commission.
Okay.
That'd be awesome. Are they going to rebuild? I remember the initial project was going to carve out the shell and preserve the shell of the old J.C. Penney / Salvation Army. Are they going to honor it in some way, or have they just removed that design element altogether?
I don't know the exact specifics. I have seen the elevations and the building footprint, so I'm not quite sure how those correlate to the original building footprint, but I definitely can forward the information on to the commission.
Okay, thank you.
The entire building is gone.
I know the building's gone.
Yeah.
When they emptied it out, they discovered that it wouldn't hold up to earthquake standards, so they had to knock the rest of it down. But the initial plan that was approved preserved the elements on the outside.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
All right. Any commissioner reports or comments? Okay. Then I think we're looking at adjournment.
Make sure everybody votes by Tuesday.
Oh, yes.
I second it.
Someone want to make a motion?
Oh, I
Do you
thought
want to
you already
make the
made.
motion?
No, I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Sotile, seconded by Commissioner Valles. Please vote.
And motion carries by unanimous vote.
There we go. All right.